Welcome to Phone Appointment Setting Training. Before we get started, I would like to share something with you. The key to your success. The most important part of your sales career is your appointment count. Your appointment count is the most important part of your sales career. Never, ever forget that. You might ask yourself, well, I still have to learn about my insurance carriers. I still have to learn my presentation. And I still have to learn my rebuttal, how to overcome objections before I can start. That's incorrect. Because if you set 15 appointments every week, you will be on a daily basis working with your insurance carriers. You will get to know them and get familiar with them. If you set 15 appointments every week, you will be giving your presentation over and over again to your clients. If you set 15 appointments a week, you will have many objections to overcome with your rebuttals. So your appointment count is the most important part of your sales career. How do we get 15 appointments every week? We continuously order leads every week on the same day. And don't always order the same leads. Do a little direct mail, a little telemarketed, a little dialer. Let's get started. What I would like you to do before you get on the phones is make sure that you read your script at least 20 times out loud to yourself so you can hear yourself before you make your first call, before every phone appointment session. When are our phone appointment sessions? Set Monday morning and Monday evening. And if we don't make the minimal of 5 appointments during each one of those sessions, we are on the phones Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. I would like you to record yourself the last 5 times when you read your phone scripts out loud. And ask yourself, would I invite this person to my home? If the answer is no, we're not ready. If the answer is yes, we're ready. I would like you to memorize and practice your riddles to your phone objections, even more than your scripts, because your scripts are going to be saying it over and over again. You're going to get that memorized, I promise you. The difference between setting 10 and 15 appointments a week is memorizing and knowing your rebuttals to your phone objections that you're going to get from your clients. Make sure that you print out your rebuttals and your phone script and lay them out in front of you while you're on the phones. Even though you might have these memorized, your clients at times will kind of throw an interesting question or take you a little bit off track. It's to know where you're at in your phone presentation. Please, please do not use a speakerphone or Bluetooth. I know there's phenomenal ones out there. But remember, in final expense, majority of our clients are a little older. Majority of them already have some kind of hearing disability. So we want to be as clear as possible. Speak slowly with a steady voice. Think of a pastor in a church, how they speak. They speak with conviction. They speak with caring. It reminds me of a story of a gentleman that I actually used to work with, was very fortunate many years ago. His name was Kevin, and he was a pastor of a church. And to supplement his income, he actually used to sell Bibles door to door, and he would make about $1,000 a month. And I took him underneath my wing. I trained him. I knew he was going to be fabulous, just how he spoke to people. People loved him. I recently spoke to Kevin. Kevin is making $4,000 to $5,000 a week. I talked to his wife. She said they have not been on a vacation in over 8 years. She did not know what to do with all the money. Think about how the pastor speaks. Please do not sell over the phone. Your goal is just to schedule the appointment and to do some minimal field so we know if they're preferred, standard, or graded. When confirming information that you already have from a telemarketed lead or a direct mail lead, because on a lot of these leads, you're already going to know their address, you're going to know their age. Please use I have here, I know that. You told us that. You have indicated. Make them feel inclusive. Again, never give too much information on the phone while you're setting your pricing or specific details of the policy. You're not selling over the phone. All your goal is to get into that door, set the appointment up, and do a little field underwriting. The reason we don't want to give too much information is that client will then have enough information to make the decision whether they're going to buy or not. Your closing ratio will never be as good if you go to that home, you do a proper warm-up, you do a proper segue question, you do a proper presentation, close. Try not to schedule appointments more than 3 days out. If you're scheduling on Saturdays, you set those appointments for Tuesday and a little Wednesday. When you call on Monday, you're setting for Wednesday, Thursday. Throughout the week, if you need to work on Friday, then you're scheduling those appointments on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday night. Your show ratio, your people that are actually there for the appointment, will be a lot higher if you schedule within 3 days. Make sure down your name and the appointment time and the date at the end of your phone script. We'll go over that in a moment. And if they're married, make sure they understand that both the wife and the husband need to be there. We do not do one-legger appointments. I've worked with agents before in the past that have had a hard time sitting in that chair and continuously dialing for the full phone setting session. I have suggested to them they use the stick game. When you give yourself one stick and then when you get up to 4, you cross it off to make 5? Well, we're going to do the same thing. Every time you dial, you give yourself a stick. No answer. It's a stick. They're not home. It's a stick. No matter what the result is. Except when you make an appointment, you get 10 sticks. You don't get out of that chair and stop dialing until you have 100 sticks. It's going to take you about 2 to 2.5 hours. But I guarantee you, if you get 100 sticks every calling session, by the end of your 3 calling sessions, when you have 300 sticks, you're going to be a great success because you're going to have 15 appointments. The key is demon dialing. You dial, no answer. You dial another number. No answer, you dial another one. You make an appointment. You immediately dial another one. Remember, appointment count is the most important thing when it comes to your sales career. Call all your leads, new and old ones, every calling session. You have to look at a lead as like a $20 bill. When you get a new bill, it's very clean and crisp, and it's worth $20. Well, over time, that $20 bill is going to travel the world. It's going to get a little dirty, folded many different ways. It might have a few rips in it. But you know what? It's still worth a $20 bill, just like a lead. We call all our leads old and new because if you order 20 leads every week, you're not going to be able to get a hold of everybody, so your book of leads will grow. So we call all of them every session. And remember, our sessions are Saturday morning, Monday morning, and Monday night. If we need to, we're going to be calling Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday. Use a different phone or different phone number every time you call your clients. Please remember, when you're calling your clients to set up phone appointments, majority of our clients now have caller ID. So if you call your client on Saturday morning, Monday morning, Monday night, they're going to start to recognize that number. And they're going to know it's a sales call. So they might not pick it up. So use either a few different cell phones or use Google Phone for a different phone number to show up there. Use a phone number in the same area code that you're calling. Your clients will pick up a lot faster if it's a local call than an out-of-town call. Again, use a cell phone with a phone number in that area or Google Phones. When I book, I normally give myself about a 30-minute window. So if for 10 o'clock, I tell my clients I'm going to be there between 10 and 10:30. So even if I'm running a little late, I'm still on time. Please never call to confirm an appointment unless it's more than a week out. For example, if you set an appointment on Monday for the following Monday or Wednesday, yes, then I'll confirm it the day before, because a lot of times people will forget. But if I set an appointment on a Monday for Wednesday, I'm not going to call that appointment to confirm it. Why? What's the best thing I'm going to get? What I already have, an appointment. What's the worst thing I'm going to get? You know what, we thought about this. It's not a good time. We'll do it some other time. I do not confirm my appointments. Even if I'm running late, please remember, if you are an appointment and you are writing business, and this will happen to you, you'll write a grandmother, all of a sudden 3 grandkids come in. I'm writing those 3 grandkids. I'm staying where the money's at. So if I'm showing up to an appointment that I'm running late to, half hour, an hour, I still will not call them. Why? Again, what's the best thing I'm going to get? I already have an appointment. What's the worst thing I'm going to get? You know what? We don't want to do this today. I will normally tell them a compelling story. I apologize I'm late, Mr. and Mrs. Client. I was just delivering a check to a widow that lost her husband a few days ago. I apologize, but she broke down on me a little bit, started crying, even brought out the old photo album, and I apologize, but I just can't rush an appointment like that. Please forgive me. I've never had anybody angry at me after that. You just showed you are a warm, nice agent that really services and takes care of their clients. The exact kind of work with. If your client cancels the day of, first of all, you shouldn't even know about it because you should be in appointments all day, so you can't be picking up your phone. But if you do, you still go to that appointment. You knock on that door. They're going to say, well, I called to cancel. I apologize, Mr. Client. I understand. This is very important. I am here. This is only going to take a few minutes. Let's get this done while I'm here. You'd be surprised. A lot of times they will let you in since they see that you made the effort and you will get the sale. If your client cancels, for example, at the door or you can't get in, the key is you rebook that appointment immediately on the spot. There is no I'll call you tomorrow to see when you're available or let's talk next weekend and rebook it. But to do that, you always have to have your full week schedule with you, whether it's a paper schedule, which we're going to show you later, or Google Calendars or any other type of calendar system. Always have your weekly schedule with you. I get a lot of agents asking me, well, do you leave? I normally don't at first because you know what? They don't call you back. After 8-10 times, I will leave a message. But the message I leave is, hey, this is Milan. My phone number is, do me a favor, call me back. They'll call you back a lot more times than if you leave a full message explaining why you're calling. You are going to have no-shows in this business. It's a fact. So if you rebook a no-show, please rebook it as a half an appointment or double book that. You will find out over time if someone does not show up for an appointment, chances are they're not going to be there again. So double book that appointment. Please remember, your clients that really want your product and are sincere will be there on that first appointment. Do we rebook book appointments that are no-shows? Of course we do. But you count that as a half an appointment. What we have here is a client information sheet. This is available to all our agents on the back office under Agent Tools and Miscellaneous Forms. This is what we use to fill out the information on our clients when we're about to call them. We're going to listen to our telemarketed lead or take the information that we've written down from the dialer or take the information from the internet lead or the direct mail lead and put it down here. As we're talking to our clients, setting an appointment, we are going to fill this out when we do a little field underwriting and when we set our appointments up. This is what we'll work off of when we're in the field. What we're looking at now is our weekly appointment schedule. It's a paper calendar. Again, you can use this or you can use Google Calendars or many different form of calendar systems on your smartphone. I like to use this while I'm on the phones. I can erase, cross off, and then I will normally transfer to my electronic calendar. These are available on the back office under Agent Tools and Miscellaneous Forms for you to download or print out. Let's break it down here and take a little closer look at this calendar. As you can see, as we spoke about earlier, our appointment times are highlighted for us. 10 o'clock, 11:30, 1 o'clock, 2:30, 4 o'clock, 5:30, 7 o'clock. Please note the reason we have 5:30 and 7 o'clock in there is every once in a while you're going to run into that couple that it's still working during the day, especially if you're going to be doing a little mortgage payoff insurance as well. You have couples in their 30s, 40s, and 50s that are still working, and the only time they can see you is at night. So when I was running full-time, I would run one night a week, normally Wednesday nights at 5:30 and 7 o'clock. My first appointment would not be until 11:30 or 1 o'clock on that day, though. Got to sleep in there a little bit. I would also run every second Saturday. I'd normally take Friday off. The reason every once in a while we have to work on a Saturday is because you have those couples where the gentleman works during the night and the lady works during the day, and they're just not available during the week. But you know what? They want your product. I guarantee you, if you have someone invite you over to their house on a Saturday, they're buying. Now, I would normally only set up appointments on Saturday morning or early afternoon. Again, with the mindset that most people are doing things to their home, with their family, or shopping in the afternoon. Normally 3 appointments, 10, 11:30, and a 1. But remember, if we're out in the field on that Saturday, we're back at home after we just got those sales. We're on the phone Saturday late at noon between 4:30 and 6:30. So we have a great start to the week when we walk into the office on Monday. What we're looking at here is a notification for a telemarketed lead that will be emailed to you once your telemarketed lead is in. This is 1 out of 20 that you will receive on a 20-lot lead order. Please note, we do have also here at AFA a wonderful dialer system, brilliant internet leads, which has also the capability of a CRM system to do a drip email to all of your clients and the leads and any kind of list that you might have or purchase. We also have a fantastic direct mail system. But for our example today in training, we've had a lot of agents lately having great success with the telemarketed leads. So let's focus on those. When you get your notification, you are going to get information that gives you the client's name, the client's address, the client's phone number. And if you look on the bottom, there's going to be a link there. You click on the link and you're going to be able to hear the recording, as I'm going to play one for you in a moment, of a client saying, yes, I do want that agent to call and I do want to see this information on your product. What we're looking at is a filled out client worksheet that we're going to be working with during our phone setting appointments and out in the field. I already have off the lead the client's name, address, and phone number, so I'm going to fill that in. Any other information while I'm listening to the telemarketed lead, I'm going to fill in as I'm listening to that recording. What I like to do is specifically what the client has mentioned or what they've stated on that phone call, I am going to highlight. So when I call this client and they're not exactly sure that they remember, I can remind them exactly what they said. What I'm about to play for you is a good telemarketed lead.
Hello?
Hello, Ida Gill, please.
Pardon me?
Ida Gill?
Speaking?
Yes, Miss Gill, my name's Karen. I'm calling from the office of Milan Statsny right here in Dalton. And real quick, we just wanted to inform you about the new state-approved life insurance and final expense plans that have recently become available for everyone age 40 and over. And we just wanted to make sure that you do receive the information on this so you can have a look at it and see if this is something that might benefit you. And you should receive the information in the next few days. Would that be okay?
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
good. And Miss Gill, I just need to verify a couple of things real quick on our recorded line, and then we'll be done. Once again, my name's Karen, and I do have your name as Ida Gill. Is that right?
All right.
Okay. And I do have your address as 14261 Pennsylvania Avenue, Apartment 6 in Dalton, with a zip of 60419. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. And so that Milan Statsny can put together the correct information for based on age, may I ask your age, please? How old you are?
63.
63. And may I ask if you are a smoker or non-smoker?
Non-smoker.
Non-smoker. Very good. And Ms. Gill, we can provide you with information on a life insurance or final expense coverage amount of $5,000 or $10,000, or would you prefer information on a larger amount?
Well, I already have insurance, so I'm not sure, probably a larger amount. Where you can start at 10,000, you would give me more than one.
Sure. Oh, sure. We can get a few quotes ready for you. We'll start at 10,000 and go higher with them. Okay. And just in case, Miss Gill, the best number to reach you would be 708-849-4640.
Yes.
All right. And lastly, the best time to contact you, would that be morning, afternoon, or maybe evening hours?
Evening hours.
Okay, evenings. Sure, that'll be fine. All right, well, Miss Gill, we're all set. I thank you for your time today. Milan Statsny will be contacting you to make sure you receive that information, and you have a great weekend, okay?
Thank you so much. You too.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So what we have there is, I would add about an A to A minus telemarketed leads. Some are going to be better, some are going to be a little worse. We have many different carriers that will be using and many different partners for our telemarketed leads. Some will say the agent's name, some will not. Some will even ask them, just as a reminder, what's your favorite color? And then when you call back and they say, you know what, I don't remember, because usually if you call them back 2 or 3 days later, they'll remember. But if you call them back a week or two later as you couldn't get a hold of them, I don't remember this. Well, you know what? When you talked to my assistant, you mentioned that your favorite color was blue. Oh, yes, I do remember. So not all the telemarketed leads are going to be like this. They will vary by company. But then again, it's up to you to decide which partner and telemarketed lead you want to use. What we're looking at here is the phone script for the automatic dialer. Let's take a moment out and read through it. Here's the phone script for the direct mail lead. Let's take a minute and read through this one as well. The next script we have up is the old internet leads. I'm sure as you're noticing by now, the bottom 2/3 of all of our phone scripts are the same. It's just the header, the opening introduction, that's a little bit different to fit the need of each lead. Let's read through this one as well. And finally, we have the telemarketed lead phone script. This is the phone script that we're going to be working with since we've had so much success with our telemarketed leads. I'm going to read the phone script so you know what you should sound like when you're on the phone with your clients. And then we're going to come back and break it down line by line so you know why it's so important that you stick with the phone script. So here we go. Hello, is this John? Yes, it is. John, my name is Milan Stastny, and I just want you to know this is not a solicitation call. The reason for my call is I'm responding to a conversation you had with my assistant, Karen, roughly about 2 days ago, in which you requested information on a state-approved life insurance final expense plan. You remember that call? Yes, I do. Wonderful. Well, it's my job to get you this information and see how we can help, sir. When you spoke with Karen, I have here that you told her that you are 63 years old, correct? Yes. And, sir, are you married? Yes, I am. May I ask what your wife's first name is and her age, please? Her name is Cindy, and she's 63 years old as well. Okay. And when you spoke to Karen, I have here that you indicated that neither one of you use any form of tobacco. No, we don't smoke, or no, we don't use that at all. Okay. And may I ask, please, have either you or Cindy in the last few years had any life-threatening conditions such as heart attack, cancer, or stroke? Well, I actually had a heart attack, and Cindy had a stroke. Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about that, sir? How long ago was your heart attack? That was about 9 years ago. And what about Cindy? How long ago was her stroke? That was about 9 months ago. 9 months ago, I believe. Okay, and how's she doing with that? Well, she lost a little bit of movement on her right side, but through therapy, we got it all back. She's doing good. Okay, wonderful. Well, that's fantastic to her, sir. And any COPD, diabetes, or oxygen use? Well, I'm a diabetic. Nothing on Cindy's side there. Okay. And may I ask, diabetes, do you use the pill or are you on insulin? Just the pill. Wonderful. Okay. Are there any other health issues that we would need to know about? No. Besides that, we're doing pretty good. Okay. Well, John, since these are state-approved programs, the state of Illinois requires that we visit in person just to make sure everything is answered correctly. And I'm going to be seeing my clients and families here in Hammond for about 15 to 20 minutes at a time, sir, on Tuesday and Wednesday. Which one of those 2 days would work best for you and Cindy? Well, I'm really not sure of what her schedule. Well, may I ask her, when are you both typically at home? We actually watch our grandson on Wednesday mornings. That would actually be a pretty good day. Fantastic. Well, I have a 10 o'clock or 11:30, sir. Which one of those two would work best for you and Cindy? Well, actually, the 10 o'clock would work good. Okay. And, sir, I have you here at 123 Easy Street in Hammond. Is that correct? Yes, it is. Great. John, I have a favor to ask you. Can you do me a favor? Yeah. Can you get a pencil and paper for me? Okay. All right. I'm back. Okay, John, well, for safety reasons, what I'd like you to do is write down my name. And because when I'm going to come to the house, I'm going to show you a life insurance state ID. And just for safety reasons, will you do that for me, sir? Sure. Okay. Well, my name is Milan, Milan, Stastny, Stastny. And if you could also please write down January 2nd, Wednesday at 10 a.m., sir. Okay, I have that here. Wonderful. And if you could do me a favor, sir, when I come to the house to see you and Cindy, I'm going to have a state photo ID on. And if you could bring that piece of paper to the door just to match up the name with the ID badge, would you do that for me for safety reasons, sir? Oh, yeah, that's actually a really, really good idea. Okay, great. All right, well, John, it was very, very nice speaking with you, and I look forward to seeing you and Cindy on January 2nd on Wednesday at 10 a.m., sir. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Okay, thank you. We look forward to seeing you. Have a good day, sir. So that's it. We speak clearly. We speak slowly. Please do not use a speakerphone. Remember who our clients are. In particular instance, they're seniors. We're doing final expense. A lot of them already have hearing aids. If you're not clear and if you speak too fast, they're just going to hang up on you. So take your time with these interviews. We're going to come back in a moment and break each line down. What you're looking at is a medical question page from a basic Transamerica final expense application. This is one of the most important pages of an application that you need to know and be familiar with before you start doing your phone calls to set up appointments. All the carriers that we use will have a knockout medical questionnaire like this. And you need to be familiar with it because when you're asking these basic medical questions, these underwriting questions, in the last few years, have you or Cindy had any life-threatening conditions such as heart attack, stroke, or cancer? Next question. Any COPD, diabetes, or oxygen use? The final and most important question, are there any other health issues that we would need to know about? If you get 3 questions answered, 99% of the time you will know by knowing these knockout questions if your client is preferred, standard, or graded. So it's very, very important because you want to come in there already knowing the pricing for this client. And the reason it's important is because there's questions on here. For example, on the top half of this, C2. So if they've had HIV, or they have dementia, or they have Alzheimer's, we know they're not eligible for Transamerica. So we're going to put them either in Gerber, Kemper, or SNL. And we know that they're not eligible here. By reading these questions and knowing this medical page, we're going to know that if they've had a heart attack in the last 2 years, okay, if they had stroke in the last 4 years, if they had a certain amount of seizures, we will know what medical category to put them in. So it's also very important that if the gentleman says, I had a heart attack 2 years ago, you got to dig a little bit. And you got to say, can you be a little bit more specific? Can you help me out? Was it over 2 years or under 2 years, sir? So by getting these field underwriting questions answered, again, you know what health category we're going to put them in. Very important. What you're looking at is a medical question page from a basic Transamerica final expense application. This is one of the most important pages of an application that you need to know and be familiar with before you start doing your phone calls to set up appointments. All the carriers that we use will have a knockout medical questionnaire like this. And you need to be familiar with it because when you're asking these basic medical questions, these underwriting questions in the last few years, have you or Cindy had any life-threatening conditions such as heart attack, stroke, or cancer? Next question. Any COPD, diabetes, or oxygen use? The final and most important question, are there any other health issues that we would need to know about? If you get 3 questions answered, 99% of the time, you will know by knowing these knockout questions if your client is preferred, standard, or graded. So it's very, very important because you want to come in there already knowing the pricing for this client. And the reason it's important is because there's questions on here. For example, on the top half of this, C2. So if they've had HIV, or they have dementia, or they have Alzheimer's, we know they're not eligible for Transamerica. So we're going to put them either in Gerber, Kemper, or SNL. And we know that they're not eligible here. By reading these questions and knowing this medical page, we're going to know that if they've had a heart attack in the last 2 years, okay, if they had stroke in the last 4 years, if they had a certain amount of seizures, we will know what medical category to put them in. So it's also very important that if the gentleman says, I had a heart attack 2 years ago, you got to dig a little bit. And you got to say, can you be a little bit more specific? Can you help me out? Was it over 2 years or under 2 years, sir? So by getting these field underwriting questions answered, again, you know what health category we're going to put them in. Very important. Okay, here we are back at the telemarketed lead phone script, and what we're going to do is we're going to break this down line by line and talk about why each line is so important. This phone script has been used for years and years by many, many successful and well-to-do life insurance final expense plan agents. So here we go. Hello, is this John? Yes. John, my name is Milan Stastny, and I want you to know this is not a solicitation call. Why is that an important opening line? Well, our clients are seniors. They have been bombarded with telemarketer calls. So we want to bring that wall down a little bit. We want to tell them it's okay to talk to me. This is not a solicitation call. And the reason it's not a solicitation call is because they've already talked to Karen, our telemarketer, and said it's okay for us to call. They've already mentioned, yes, I do want this information. So they are there waiting for your call. The reason for my call is I'm responding to a conversation that you had with my assistant, Karen. Mention their name. Almost all of the partners that we use for telemarketed leads give you the name of the telemarketer, which you spoke with 2 days ago, a week ago, a month ago. We're trying to refresh their memory. We're trying to have them remember this phone conversation in which you requested information on a state-approved life insurance final expense plan. All life insurance plans out there on the market are state approved, and we want them to know exactly what this is. This is a life insurance final expense plan. We're not doing a bait and switch like a lot of companies out there do. We're out there, and this is a state approved life insurance final expense plan call. My time is important. Your client's time is important. Let's not waste it. We're going to be honest here and tell them why we're on the phone with them. You remember this call? Yes or no? If they say yes, continue. If they say no, then we're going to go over all the things they said. Remember the things that we highlighted on the client worksheet. I normally like to break it down in 2 parts. Well, John, when you talked to Karen, you did mention that you were 63 years old. And you mentioned that both you and Cindy do smoke. And she even confirmed your address here at 123 Easy Street here in Hammond. Does that ring a bell, sir? No, I get a lot of these calls. It doesn't really ring a bell. If you're looking for a 10 or $15,000 of coverage, and you said you'd be actually interested in about $25,000 for each one of you if it fit your. Oh yes, I do remember that. Or some of our partners, when it comes to telemarketer leads, will actually mention, may I ask what your favorite color is? And you can say, well, John, when you talk to Linda, you mentioned that your favorite color is blue. Does that ring a bell? Oh, yeah. I do remember that. Great. Well, it's my job to get you this information and see how we can help. Now, the next portion of this phone script is you're going to be asking them questions. Especially for you new agents, I want you to understand, by taking the state exam, you know more than 99% of all your clients about insurance. So you are the professional. Your clients are looking for guidance, so guide them. They're looking at you as the professional. So my point is, I don't want you to be timid here and say, you know what, may I ask you a few questions? Do you have 3 minutes for me to talk to you? Do you have a moment to see if you qualify? No, because you know what? They never have a moment. So you go right into it. Well, John, when you talked to Karen, you mentioned that you were 63 years old, correct? Yes. And are you married, sir? Yes. And may I ask what your wife's name and her age is? Or her name is Cindy, and she's 63 years old as well. Fantastic. And you did mention that both of you are smokers, is that correct? Yes, but we're trying to quit here. Okay, great. And John, in the last few years, have you or Cindy, okay, don't do John first and then come back and do Cindy. Do them both at the same time. We've had a lot of agents, what they do is they forget to do the other spouse. Have you or Cindy had any life-threatening conditions such as heart attack, stroke, or cancer, sir? Well, I had a heart attack 9 years ago, and Cindy just had a stroke. Okay, very good. Now, if they don't tell you how long ago the heart attack is, by reading our medical page, we need to know that. How long ago was that? So can you tell me a little bit about the heart attack, John? How long ago was that? 9 years ago. Okay. And how you doing with that, sir? Oh, my doctor changed my whole diet, and it's a pain in the butt, but, I got to do what I got to do. So, okay, well, I'm glad that you're here doing good. Can you tell me a little bit more about that, how long ago that was? Well, that was about 9 months ago. All right, so we know if you've had a stroke in the last 2 years with Transamerica, you don't qualify them. So we have to take her to a guaranteed issue company with no medical questions, such as Gerber, Kemper, or Security National Life, SNL. If they say something like, my wife is going through cancer, she's going through chemo, please don't say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear. You know what? Everybody tells them that. Change it to a positive and say, you know what? Well, I have a lot of clients, and what they're doing out there, it's amazing. And I've seen so many miracles, and I'm sure Cindy's going to be one of those. And if you want to be a little religious, even feel free to say, I'm going to say a prayer for Cindy. I'm sure she's going to be okay. Do you see the difference between saying, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry to hear that, to you know what, I have seen miracles out there, and I know she's going to be okay. It lifts your client up a little bit. Next question. Any COPD, diabetes, or oxygen use? Let's break this down. COPD, you don't need to know how long they've had it. It's a breathing disorder. Trust me, if your client has COPD, they know they'll have it. They know what it is. Diabetes, if you have a diabetic, please don't ask them if they're 1 or 2. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't even know that. Simply just ask them, are you on pill or insulin? Some people might say both. If they're both, that means they're an insulin diabetic. The reason we ask that is Transamerica and almost all our companies, besides one, if you use insulin, you are a standard rating. And your premium is roughly around 20% more. So if they're an insulin diabetic, there's nothing else wrong with them. We're going to take them to Forster's, phenomenal company. It's one of the only companies that will give a preferred rating, they call it level, to an insulin diabetic out there. Because we always want to get the best price for our client. Oxygen use. It's important. Some companies, if you're in oxygen use, you are an automatic decline. Some companies, you are graded. Some companies, if you use oxygen and it's for sleep apnea, it's okay. They'll take a pass on that, not a problem. So we need to find out there. The most important question out of the 3 medical questions are there any other health issues that we need to know about? And you're going to get stuff like, well, you know what, I have arthritis and I just had a hip replacement and you know, I'm on dialysis. And I'm like, whoa. Now, if they say I just had cataract surgery and my arthritis is terrible, do we care? Not really. Do we show empathy? Of course we do. So talk to them a little bit about that. I'm sorry to hear that. You know, I'm sure you're going to get a little bit better. I just had cataracts. Well, how was it? How'd that turn out? These are not medical, life-threatening conditions, but show a little care. The next portion of the phone interview is we need to get in that house. Okay, we don't do sales over the phone. This is life. Okay, if you're doing health, that's another thing. But your closing ratio will skyrocket if you go to that home, you do the proper warm-up, proper segue question, proper presentation, and close. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into that house now. Now, John, since these are state-approved programs, the state of Illinois requires that we visit in person just so everything is answered correctly. And, John, I'm seeing clients and my families here in Hammond, here in Chicago, here in Lafayette. Okay, you're coming across as a local agent here in. I don't care if you're 100 miles away from these people or you live 500 miles here in their town for about 15 to 20 minutes. Now, wait a minute. Earlier I said that we're going to be spending roughly about 50 minutes to an hour with our clients. Well, if you tell them 50 minutes an hour, you're not going to get as many appointments. So tell them 15 to 20 minutes because you will have appointments that you spend 15 to 20 minutes with them. You know, so mention 15 to 20 minutes on Tuesday and Wednesday. You want to give your clients a choice of 2. Don't ever ask, when are you free? When are you available? They're never available for you. Guide them. And remember, if you're working 4 days, you only have certain time slots that are going to be available. Once you get 12, 13 appointments, you're not going to have that many time slots available. So you fill them in on your time slots. Which one of those 2 days works best for you and Cindy? They both have to be there. We don't do one-legger appointments. You and Cindy. Well, I'm not sure of her schedule. Can you call me back? Well, let me ask you, John, when are you both typically? Well, we're normally home on Wednesdays. We watch our grandchild. Well, that's fantastic. I have a 10 o'clock or 11:30. Again, what did I just do? I gave them a choice of 2. Okay, if they say, well, you know what, we both work during the day. Well, I do have night appointments. Every once in a while I see my clients at night, and I am seeing my clients on Wednesday night. I do have a 5:30 or 7 o'clock available, sir. Which one of those 2 works best for you and Cindy? Reclose. Which one of those 2 works best for you and Cindy? Well, my another thing they might say is, well, we work during I work during the day, and Cindy works at night, and so we don't really have time for this. Well, sir, and every other Saturday I do see my clients. What I like to do is I have an opening at 10 o'clock or 11:30 on this Saturday. Which one of those 2 would work best for you and Cindy? So I'm constantly reclosing to get that appointment set. We have photo IDs available on the FAA store on your back office. It's a photo ID, says your name, wear it around your neck. I don't do the clip-ons. I found out that agents lose them, and I just, you wear it around your neck. When you get in your car, you put it on your rear view window, mirror there, excuse me, and then you put it on. When you get up to the door, you show them the ID. It makes them feel a little bit comfortable. Remember that our clients are seniors. They've been told, don't let strangers into your home. So you want to show them this ID. Until you get this ID ordered, just show them your driver's license. All we're trying to do is do an extra step to make them feel more comfortable. Can you do me a favor, John? Can you get a paper and pencil for me? Because for safety reasons, what I like you to do is write down my name, sir. Can you do that for me now? Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. All right, John, if you could please write down my name. My name is Milan, Milan. Please spell it slowly. Our seniors normally write slowly. You're going to know if you're saying it too fast. You're going to say, oh, yeah, slow down here. Slow down. They'll tell you. And can you also write down January 2nd, Wednesday at 10 a.m., sir? And what I paper to the door when I come and see you and Cindy on Wednesday. And for safety reasons, sir, just to match up the name on the ID badge. Will you do that for me, sir? Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. It's making them feel good. Now, do I really care about the name? No. What do I care about? I care about January 2nd, 10 a.m. Because they're going to keep that piece of paper on the counter, put it on the refrigerator, and the wife's going to come home, and then she's going to say, what's this? And, well, Cindy, we have an insurance man or insurance lady coming over at this time on that. Okay, don't ask them to write it down on a calendar. A lot of people don't have calendars. But everyone has a paper and pencil. It works. They'll remember it. They'll put it on the refrigerator. They'll keep looking at it. They know I'm coming over there January 2nd, Wednesday at 10 a.m. Just to close it out, again, I will reiterate the date. It was a pleasure talking to you. I look forward to seeing you and Cindy on January 2nd, Wednesday at 10 a.m., sir. It was wonderful talking to you. Please have a wonderful and blessed day. I work with a lot of religious people, a lot of people that go to church, so it's okay to say that. If you don't feel comfortable, I understand that. We're not giving information out on pricing. We're going to go over some rebuttals, how to handle that in a moment. We're not giving too much information to give them a decision whether they want to buy or not. All we're doing is getting in the house, getting that appointment, and doing a little field underwriting. It takes practice. You will be confident. Some of you will be nervous. For the ones that are nervous getting on the phones, you know what's going to happen is, you're going to be nervous the first few times. And then all of a sudden you're going to get an appointment. You're going to have a nice conversation with these people. Don't spend too much on the phone, but it's okay to have a conversation. If you find yourself that you're giving too much information, get off the phone and finish the thing off. And then once you make that a first appointment, you're going to be a little bit more relaxed. Once you make 5, you're going to say, well, this is easy. I don't even know what the heck I was so nervous about. But practice. Read your scripts 20 times. Record yourself the last 5 times and listen to yourself. And ask yourself, would I invite this person over to my home? If the answer is no, practice more. If the answer is yes, you're ready to make your 15 appointments. Phone objections. It's critical that you memorize your rebuttals to phone objections. This will be the difference between you setting up 10 appointments a week and 15 appointments a week. Those 5 extra appointments every week are thousands and thousands of dollars in your pocket. You're going to memorize your phone scripts because you're going to be saying them over and over again to your clients while you are setting up your appointments. But it's critical that you memorize these rebuttals to phone objections. Let's look at the catch-all. The catch-all is a rebuttal just to get your business card, the memorial guide, to your client. It's only half an appointment. I still give them the choice of day, but I do not give them a choice of time. I only give them a choice of morning or afternoon. And you go to your client's house in between your appointments, or if you have a no-show. You introduce yourself as you're wiping off your feet, giving them the subconscious image that you're about to come in, and you tell them you'd like 5-10 minutes to explain the memorial guide to them. About 50% of the people will let you in. The ones that do let you in, you give a proper warm-up, segue question, presentation, and about 50% of those people will buy from you. The catch-all. John, I understand how you feel. If this is the case, what I would like to do is just stop by and give you my business card and introduce myself with the understanding that you are not interested at this time, with the understanding that you don't have any money at this time, whatever the objection might be. John, the reason being, if we meet face to face, when things do change, you will already know somebody that can provide this service to you and your family. Also, my company provides a free memorial guide, which is considered extremely valuable by the Department of Consumer Affairs. And I really want to get this gift in your hands. And, John, since I'm seeing my clients and families here in Hammond on Monday and Tuesday anyway, which one of those 2 days work better for you so I can drop this off to you? And is morning or afternoon better for you, sir? It's a phenomenal way to get your business card and that memorial guide in their hands. Again, I can't tell you how many times I get a call 3 months, 6 months, a year later. All of a sudden, the gentleman's sister passed. The lady's father passed. And they realize how important final expense coverage is. The family had to come up with thousands of dollars. And they didn't have it. They weren't ready. And they don't want to put this burden upon their family members as well in the future. So you're going to get that call because they have that memorial guide in that desk drawer, that business card somewhere. If they still say no, I understand, John, but things do change. Would you mind if I gave you a call in 2-3 months just to check in? Majority of the people will say yes. Call them up like it's a brand new lead. The catch-all. Use it. Can you call me back? And this one you have to be able to dance a little bit on your feet. But I've caught people many times, and sometimes I'll make an appointment, and sometimes I'll call their bluff. Because you know what? Your client's time is important. Oh, whose time is more important? Mine. Can you call me back? Sure I can, John. When would you like me to call you back? Well, how about Tuesday at 11 o'clock? Okay, shuffle some papers around. Well, John, you know what? That's perfect. I'm actually going to be visiting a family right down the street here in our neighborhood, Hammond, at 9 o'clock. So you know what? I'll just stop by at that time at 10 o'clock and drop you off this memorial guide. Would that be okay? Sometimes they'll say yes. Sometimes, no, that's okay. You're calling their bluff out. You got to be able to dance a little bit on this one. But you'll know who's really interested and who is not. Remember, our time is valuable. Please remember, it's extremely important that we reclose our phone appointments. How do we reclose? By simply giving them a choice of 2. John, I'm going to be seeing clients and family members here in Hammond on Tuesday and Wednesday, sir. Which one of those 2 days works best for you and Cindy? Cindy, I'm going to be seeing my clients right here in Hammond on Wednesday and Thursday. Which one of those works best for you and John? I have an opening at 10 o'clock and 2:30. Which one of those works best for you, Cindy, John? Give them a choice of 2. Your clients are looking for guidance. You are the professional. Guide them. Also, it's important that you remember once you have 8, 9, 10 appointments for that week, your time slots of availability will be limited. So you have to fit them in your open time slots. How much does this cost? Well, it depends. John, it's based on the type of insurance, the amount of insurance, the carrier that we use, your health, and many other factors. Until I meet with you and get all the details, the best I can do right now is just give you a range. I have many clients that are paying as low as $10 a month to protect their families, and some are paying up to $100. But most are somewhere in between, around the lower end. Now, obviously, John, this does have to fit your budget, and if it doesn't, we shake hands and we go ways, friends. Is that fair enough? I'm seeing my clients and families here in Hammond on Tuesday and Wednesday. Reclose. If they still say no, go to the catch-all. Well, why don't you just mail me something? Well, fine, John, but since I am the local agent protecting families here in Hammond, I'm going to be out in the neighborhood on Monday and Tuesday, seeing my clients. So what I'd like to do is stop by with the understanding that I'm just dropping off this information and introducing myself. Also, John, my company provides a free memorial guide, and I'd really like to get this free gift in your hand. Is that fair enough? Reclose. Oh, just, you know what, no, just mail me something. You know what, give me a quote right now. Well, we have 10, 20, 30-year plans, whole life plans, plans that provide disability income if something happens to you, and also critical illness protection, which is very important. We also have plans that return all of your money if you don't use the plan over the years. And I don't want to make the decision of which plan would be best for you and your family, John. And I'm sure you'll agree with me, you're the best person to make that decision. Reclose. With so many options available to you and your family, I prefer to meet with you and get this information to you. Also, I believe it's very important that I'm there for your family so I can answer any questions that you and your family members and your wife might have. Reclose. I already have insurance. I compliment you on seeing the need to protect your family so when that time comes, you are not going to be a burden to your loved ones. We just want to make sure that you're getting the best value for your dollar. All of our clients feel that every dollar is important these days. Don't you agree? Reclose. Well, again, I am glad to hear that you realize final expense life insurance plans are important, but more importantly, if we could show you a comparable plan that would save you money, would you be interested in receiving this information? Reclose. What's this all about? Well, that's what we'd like to show you and get this information in your hands. Which day works best for you? Reclose.